My grandfather, Hiram Revels, was the first black man to ever be elected to the national legislature. He was my mother's father, and in 1870, he was sworn in as a United States Senator from Mississippi. After the Nat Turner insurrection, it became difficult for free Negroes to survive in North Carolina. He went to India to a Quaker seminary and became what he called a religious worker. I never met my grandfather. He died in 1901, 2 years before I was born. We kept his portrait in the dining room of our beautiful home in Seattle.
Well, we won't have that problem if Mr. Roosevelt is reelected, in which case you are looking at the next Governor General of the Philippines.
Well, you got your eye on that, huh? Gonna help Teddy carry his big stick.
In any event, I want to see you at the meeting Sunday.
I'll be there.
Really, Mr. Cayton, I don't know what you expect us to do living in those jungles. Couldn't Mr. Roosevelt find some other way of thanking you for helping him get reelected?
Oh, ice cream!
I was named Horace after my father. My younger brother Revels was named after my famous grandfather. In those days, we did everything together. Our white neighbors were respectful, but their children didn't play with us. But we didn't let it bother us. It was my sister Madge who had the hardest time trying to fulfill my parents' dream. The dream was that we lived like white children while ignoring the fact that Negroes were treated differently. Madge tried to please everybody, but my older sister Ruth was different. She did what she wanted to do, and what she wanted was to have fun. She never felt she had special obligations because we came from an educated family. If white kids wanted to play with her, she would. And if the white kids called her names, she would fight.
Do you really live on Capitol Hill?
Yeah, my grandfather's a U.S. Senator.
Senator of what?
United States Senate.
I think he's lying. First he came to school as a servant. Now you say your grandfather's a senator.
Yeah. Why don't you go up on the hill and play with the girls? We don't want to play with you.
Years later, when Negro History Week was inaugurated, I was able to take pride in my heritage. But until then, I learned to keep it a secret.
Good evening, Miss May.
Good evening, Mr. Cayton.
Mr. Walker?
Hey.
Dr. Washington, we are very pleased and honored to have you as a guest in our home.
The pleasure is all mine, Mrs. Cayton.
Mr. Cayton.
One day, the famous educator, Dr. Booker T. Washington, came to Seattle, and it was only natural that he should stay with our family.
Dr. Washington, I don't see much hope for our people in the South. Sometimes I even question your own work when you advise Southern Negroes to educate themselves in order to become laborers.
Well, doubtless many of our men are just afraid to leave the South, or else they don't have the same pioneer spirit that you and your friends in the city do. Besides, we can't all leave. If we do, then the North will soon be just like the South. And as for my work, the things I teach them they can use any place they go.
Doctor, I know that most of us have to start at the bottom and work our way up to the top. But don't you see that that's just what the Southern white wants to hear? It gives them an excuse to keep us on the lowest possible level. It robs the Negro of his... It robs us of all our ambition.
Mr. Cayton, may I say that you have forgotten much of the South. The majority of our people live in the South. They don't leave because they love it. It's their home. The Negro problem will be won or lost in the Deep South, not up here in the Northwest.
Most of my family lives in the South. When I came north, I had hopes and dreams about freedom we hear so much about. But what I found is that without a trade or position, the Negro might just as well go back home.
But don't you think the Negro can be uplifted by being exposed to the things we have in the cities? Like the libraries, the symphony, the opera.
You know, I've been reading about Dr. Du Bois and his Niagara movement. And I must say, if you will excuse me, Doctor, that I'm much more prone to his way of thinking than yours. The idea of the Negro in the Southern white's mind is simply an insanity. There's nothing to be gained with compromising with that attitude.
You say that here in the city you found a new frontier, that democracy can be worked out. And you speak of the insanity the Negro finds in the South. I say we are all looking for the same solvable answer, to which there is no simple solution. I hope that insanity doesn't find its way to this part of the country, because if it does, I'm afraid you may find you've been living in a fool's paradise. In any case, I better retire. Please excuse me, I'm very tired.
I'll show you to your room.
May I say good night?
Good night, Doctor. I think he's wrong, John. It's like Du Bois says, you have to strike out in every direction. I believe in this country. I love it. We've succeeded here. I believe that you can force democracy to work.
It's true. We've succeeded. But he's a smart man, Horace. A very, very smart man. I hope what he says doesn't come true.
It's clear to me that hope is just about all we really have.
Republican.
Good evening, Mr. Cayton.
Good evening, Mrs. Cayton.
I don't think you'll ever stop acting as if you've just published your first issue.
I hope I never do.
Good evening, Mr. Cayton.
Good evening, Miss.
Tonight we are having roast leg of lamb, sir.
And this smells delicious.
Thank you.
Samuel Hill has recently imported 18 splendid specimens of the Negro race from North Carolina and has set them to work on his farm.
But will soon start them out for themselves? Mr. Hill always did have his own peculiar way of doing things.
Isn't there an editorial in here, Pop?
Young man, I've asked you not to address your father as... Yeah. There it is.
Discrimination in downtown restaurants. Page 6.
That a dismaying number of establishments in the downtown portion of our city have adopted the odious practice of refusing service to Negro patrons.
I can't imagine what your white readers must think about these race articles.
I'll tell you what they're thinking. They're thinking stick to the war news.
Now, any editor spends all of this time worrying about what his readers thought would never get a newspaper out.
Providing he's got readers.
I don't know why anyone would want to go to the white people's restaurant in the first place.
The Republican will always have readers. That's half the reason someone buys a paper, finds something to get all steamed up about.
You might not think it's important to eat in white folks' restaurants, but I think it's important to eat any place. They might sit you down. You don't know if you're colored or what.
Well, probably the people who eat in these restaurants aren't interested in this type of article.
Worrying about your pop and his newspaper. Did you know this city has grown from 80,000 to 250,000 in the last 20 years? Now, a lot of those new people moving in are Negroes. They want a newspaper that won't weasel word around on these racial issues. Even if it does put some of our white friends off a little at first.
Dinner is now being served.
Great.
My God. Say the man's name for me. Yes? Now, how soon can you send me a dispatch on this? Yes, we'll make the next edition. No, I want the whole thing. And better to talk to some of those police down there and find out what they're doing on it. Yeah? All right. Okay, thank you. Fred.
Yeah.
Show me that makeup on the front page, will you?
Well, we got the robbery story running over here on the right, and on the left we have the French story.
Put that French stuff on the inside. I want a new story right in here.
Something just break? I don't suppose I have to tell you. We're taking a hell of a chance with this one.
No, I don't suppose you have to tell me.
Dad?
Tied to a tree and burned alive. My God.
Lynched in Mississippi for suspected robbery? Is it true, Dad?
There were witnesses who knew the man was innocent. They were suppressed.
The lynching spirit of the United States, to say the least, is an awful blot on our boasted civilization. This newspaper can no longer ignore the shocking violations of human rights, which are the culmination of the denial of civil rights for Negroes.
Hello, Mother.
Good evening. A brutal display of... Wait here, children.
Good evening, my dear. I hope you left a few things at the store for the other shoppers.
I'd like to speak to you, Mr. Cayton.
You disapprove, Susie?
Do you really think people want to read about this sort of thing?
I think they've got to.
But lynchings, Horace? I don't even want our own children to read about it. This is what people move to Seattle to get away from.
Oh, yes, the city. Cultural uplift, concerts and libraries. You know, I think it's about time you woke up to the fact that string quartets aren't going to save the Negro race.
Good evening.
Hello, Mr. Cayton, you in?
He certainly is in. May I know who's calling?
The government of the United States is calling.
I'd always imagined a larger organization. Come in, gentlemen, come in.
Would you like to sit down?
No, thank you. We'd like to have you come down to our office, if you don't mind, Mr. Cayton. We'd like to talk to you about your newspaper.
What is it?
I'll just be spending some time in the company of these gentlemen, my dear. No cause for alarm. I'll be back as soon as our business is completed. Right, gentlemen?
Oh, there you are. Must have been a long night. Where have you been? We were almost going to send out a search party for you.
Too long for my taste. I had a visit from a couple of government men. Looks like that Mississippi story is creating more excitement than I'd like.
You telling me?
Two fools kept me up all night asking me if I was trying to start a race riot in Seattle. And they didn't want to debate it either. Just scare the pants off you and wear you down till you promise that you're going to be a good boy. What's all that?
Telegram in the back, too.
Sir, your edition of Friday last was an affront to the decency and unity of a country at war for democracy. Please cancel my subscription directly. Irresponsible outrage. Cancel that? Well, my God. Since when is reporting an outrage the same thing as committing one? Our enlightened Northerners. Opposed to lynching them and twice as opposed to hearing about it. Well, Fred, I think we've gone and done it. Put the future of this paper right on the shoulders of the Negro readers. I never intended this to be a specialized paper, but I guess there's no harm in helping the people when they're down. Let's get to work.
There was to be no future for the Seattle Republican. 3 months after the Mississippi lynching story was printed, the paper ceased publication forever.
Revels, what are you doing?
Dad?
Oh, Nish. I'm so sorry you won't be coming along with us. But since we've decided to move to a smaller house for a while,
I understand, Mrs. Cayton. A house of lesser size is easier to maintain than a house that is more crowded.
I doubt that a house of any size will be easy for me to maintain. I just hope I've learned something from you. Will you write to us from California?
I will be your faithful correspondent, madame.
Thank you, Nish.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Hello, troops.
Hi, Father.
Hello, Mrs. Cayton.
Well, I have a bit of news. I have acquired an investment property.
Where, in Green Lake?
No, I've thrown Green Lake out of my mind. Whole place is overvalued, and taxes are pure felony. 5 years from now, a lot of investors will be sorry they ever heard of Green Lake. No, the place I've found is an apartment house right in town, a well-trafficked location down on 22nd, near Jackson.
Oh. Well, it's right in the heart of town. Convenient for people.
22nd and Jackson. I think you'd be afraid to go down there.
Nonsense, why should I be afraid?
Well, there's so many Negroes. What will our white friends say?
Ruth, is dinner ready?
Almost, Mother.
Now, my father was the best farmer in all of Mississippi. Best in the land, some said. He could produce twice the crop of somebody with 4 times the land. You know, one time he produced a crop so fine that all the farmers in the township chipped in and gave this big dinner to celebrate.
Who came to the dinner? White and colored farmers?
Oh, just white. There weren't many colored people who had land in that township.
You mean your father was allowed to eat and sit with white people down in Mississippi?
Well, I guess they had a table for him. Off to the side.
Guest of honor, sitting at some little Jim Crow table.
Celebrated and segregated. All in one night.
Rebels, you shouldn't talk to Father that way. And Mother, you shouldn't let him.
I've always taught you to respect your father.
Mother, Mr. Cayton, be careful with that china. Rebels, Horace Jr., help him with that thing. It's too heavy.
Are these...
Put them on the truck.
All right.
Oh, my, here. Give me the china. Give me the china. Help them tie those bags on me. Rebels, get that lamp. Hey, you cannot do that. You're not strong enough to tie that on there. Rebels, bring the rest of your father's book.
4 different people. An ex-slave, a United States senator, a wisp of a mulatto Quaker girl, and a proud white plantation owner's daughter had been my grandparents. Each of them had an influence on me and my family. Each had in his own way rebelled. Now it was my turn to do the same.
that newspaper editor's son? I never expected to see you in here. What's the charge?
They told me I caused a disturbance in the theater. They wouldn't let me sit downstairs because I was colored. I sat there anyway, and they had me arrested.
Call your dad. There he is. Take him home and tell him to be more careful in the future.
Tell him to obey the law like I always have done.
Horace.
According to his story on the phone, he's broken the law, Jim, and you know it.
You're right, damn it. But you know as well as I do that things have changed around town. It's not my fault and it's not yours. Things just ain't the way they were when you and I were pioneers in this town. You'd better teach your boy a little patience.
There's no law that says that a man can't sit anywhere he wants in a theater in Seattle.
Okay,
And you know I know.
okay, you're the doctor. Take him home.
It's different now. Times have changed. You said that we were just like other people, and that this was a free country. Said I should insist on my rights. What did you expect me to do?
I expect you to keep fighting, not like you're doing it now. Keep still and settle down. There's a lesson to be learned. I don't want you all riled up. You know I was born a slave, Horace. So was your grandfather. Your mother doesn't like to talk about it except when it suits her to remind me. It's more enlightening hearing about your grandfather Revels, which is unfortunate because it pulls you away from your own people. First thing I ever remember was listening to the slaves talking about freedom. I was called Freedom Child because it was coming and we all believed it. My father was lucky because my mother was white and he got some land and could farm it. Not many people that lucky. I found out that freedom and learning don't mean much in Mississippi, so I moved here. I believed in myself, Horace. I believed that I had the ability to compete with any man.
So now you're saying that you're not...
I'm saying that I failed. See, it's not an easy thing to say to you, but maybe it has to be done. Freedom's a word, not a fact. That's defeated me, even at home. But you gotta prepare yourself to go on fighting. You're gonna have to create your own life, Horace. I can help a little, but it's up to you. Son, what I'm gonna say to you is how it's gonna be. Either you go back to school, or else you find a job. You go to school or you go to work and you forget about this damn senseless troubles between the races.
Your daddy's right, boy. Things are changing so fast, we're gonna have to alter our tactics. Be patient for a while.
I can't just be patient.
Son, you better get away from this place for a while.
But don't you realize you made our family the way it is now? But you don't tell me what to do?
You're too young, I know it ain't easy for me to say this in front of your dad. But my advice to you is to go see some of this world. Have some time to think. When you come back, maybe things won't look so bad.
But I don't know where to go.
It don't matter where you go. Just take a trip.
Don't forget us. I know you'll be all right. Horace?
Yes.
I have something for you.
Thank you.
Remember to write.
Take care of yourself now.
I wish I can come with you.
Son, I love you.
I shipped out on the steamship Ketchikan that day, bound for the great new territory of Alaska to find out what my life had in store for me. In this way, I moved from the confusion of youth into my manhood. I now know who I am. I am a black American.